a lot of really amazing action steps. We have seen students who are doing incredible things all over the state, building really innovative solutions. But we've also heard, as Governor Tim Pawlenty mentioned, a gigantic problem. And this is immense. And the question has always been to me, how do we integrate the people and the policy? How do we bring together a vision that takes these solutions and makes them huge? What we want to propose is something new and something different. Something that literally is breakthrough. Something that goes beyond business as usual. Because we will need to go beyond business as usual in order to solve this problem. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge. How do we build policies that give people everywhere the tools to solve global warming? People are the technology that will solve global warming. We have the innovation. We have the solutions. There needs to be still more work and still more support. But more than anything, there needs to be the resources that people like these students and people all over the state can make the change and be the change we wish to see in the world. Our vision is called Minnesota's New Energy Generation. We are the new energy generation. And it's time for us to bring new energy into the generation of a new green economy.
The issues that are discussed in this document involve everyone. All of us under this roof, the farmers, businessmen and women, politicians, educators. It is not a special interest anymore, and we are not, we cannot be pigeonholed as environmentalists or activists or any other classification. We come to you tonight as human beings that demand environmental justice and social justice, and this can be achieved through developing a sustainable society.
We talk about global warming. We talk about it as a problem. We usually talk about it as global warming. We know that what we're saying is also the energy crisis and our dependency on foreign oil. We know that it's also the rights and livelihoods of people in developing communities all over the world. We know that this is the future of Minnesotans in our rural societies, in our cities. This is the way we live. This is the future, you know, it's us. These are huge problems, and we see them as problems. How do we get to the point where we're ready to take that challenge, reframe it, and look at it as an opportunity? I've been so excited and so appreciative that the governor has seen this as an opportunity and is ready to walk with us, is ready to start catching up to the vision that the students of Minnesota and students all over the country have been working on, because we need that and it needs to be strong. And that opportunity is going to revitalize our rural economy. It's going to revitalize our cities. It's going to build a new green industry for everyone.
As Timothy alluded to, rural development plays a key role. As Minnesota's bread and butter, rural areas are threatened by farm industrialization. Agriculture has become an industry that is neither sustainable nor just, and rising energy prices and our focus on producing energy-intensive corn for ethanol is causing a rapid rise in food prices. Small family farmers have little ability to compete with large agribusinesses, and many rural families have slowly lost their ability to make a living off of their land. And there is immense opportunity, however, like Timothy mentioned, in these areas for raising biomass for sustainable biofuels such as cellulosic, ethanol, developing wind power, and also overall community ownership. Urban development will also play a key role, and a shift in thinking and planning is necessary. We need to build self-sustaining communities with efficient modes of transportation and ways to maximize the use of this land. Suburbanization, along with our current transportation infrastructure, is not sustainable. They are inefficient, expensive, and proof that we must develop new ways of living and commuting. some things we can do in the urban areas are creating urban gardens and installing green roofs, and also utilizing efficiency in design. These are all possible and in practice, but they need to become standard in urban areas. We were really excited that the legislature overwhelmingly approved of funding for efficient transportation that supports smart, family-sustaining, and climate-friendly urban infrastructure. We now need to give Minnesotans the tools to organize their communities to support a post-carbon lifestyle.
The question to me has always been, how do we build these new industries? How do we build this new culture? How do we build this new society? We need to work on the technology, obviously, but we need to find out, how are we going to give residents and citizens the tools that they can use to cut the energy usage of their homes in half, save money, save carbon, build a better structure for their society? How are we going to, as Madeline said, create green industry that will produce the wind turbines that are going up in western Minnesota, and the clean cars, as recent legislation has proposed, that are going to allow us to transport Minnesotans and people all over the country with far less carbon at far less cost? How are we going to do this? We need government and policy incentives that are directly going to support the development of these new industries at a mass scale. That is not going to be easy. It's going to take a collaboration we have not seen before, with innovators and really amazing collaborations between students and labor and farmers on the ground, with a policy that can make it happen, with policy that empowers all these initiatives and makes them real.
And as we search for solutions to the climate crisis, we must be sure not to take steps backwards and dig deeper into the problem. We need a moratorium on new coal, and we need to implement a plan to take current coal plants off the grid. Minnesota is extremely dependent on coal, as it was mentioned earlier. And coal companies have millions of dollars to spend on lobbying and campaigns to get legislation written in their favor. We might not have that kind of money, we're still in school, but we have something greater and more valuable. We have a movement with enough energy and determination to move forward into this clean energy economy, with all of you. And it is the people power that make it possible, and we have a collective responsibility to take this on for our generation and for generations to come. As a whole, we must look and only settle for what will truly be environmentally and economically sustainable, and coal in any form does not fit in this category. We need billions of dollars and immense political will to invest in innovative technologies, which would create millions of new green jobs that are economically sustainable, better for workers' health, and benign to the earth.
We have the people. We need something more. We need the structures that will take their work and make it real. I would like to speak directly to Governor Pawlenty. We know that you want just as much as any of us a clean economy that's ready to lift everyone up together. We want you to know that we as a movement are there and that it's possible, that we can. We need climate policy that goes beyond 80% carbon reductions by 2050. It's a start, and we need to do that, but we need to do better. It needs to have full auctioning as a cap and trade, so that all of the revenue from pollution, from our carbon emissions, all of the cost that is being imposed on our society by sending carbon into the atmosphere is going into the solutions, is going into this work in technology development, in large-scale industry, but also on the ground where it happens. And we need that to happen as soon as possible. It needs to happen in Minnesota. Minnesota needs to lead the Midwest, and the Midwest needs to lead the country and the world.